Hi everyone, thank you for viewing this quick overview of some very basic standard precautions, especially as we are heading into the flu season. I thought that this information could be helpful. Feel free to share this with anyone that could benefit from it. So today we're going to talk about the chain of infection, especially when it comes to protecting your community and your staff. We're going to mainly focus on the transmission of infection, and the six links that create the chain. The transmission of infection depends on six elements which link together like a chain. If any link is broken, then the chain is broken and infection cannot be transmitted. Each link has its own unique role in the chain. For an infection to develop, each link of the chain must be connected. Breaking any link of this chain can stop the transmission of infection. So let's dive a little deeper into what each of these links are. The first link in the chain is actually the infectious disease, so that is the actual pathogen. Infectious diseases are caused by microorganisms such as viruses, bacteria, fungi, or even parasites. Some of these are more common infections, including influenza, norovirus, C. diff, which a lot we have experienced or work with individuals in the assisted living industry. So first is our pathogen. Moving on to the second link is a reservoir. So the reservoir is a place where the microorganism lives and reproduces. Some examples of reservoirs are humans, animals, food, water, toilet seats, door handles, human feces, or other respiratory secretions. And depending on the type of organism, it can live on surfaces for hours and up to days. Our third link is the portal of exit, which is the place where the organism lives in the reservoir. This is also where the organism leaves the reservoir. Examples in humans are the respiratory tract, such as the nose or mouth, the intestinal tract, the urinary tract, blood, or other bodily fluids. Our fourth link is the mode of transmission, and that is the way an organism transfers from one carrier, meaning an infected person, to another. This can be by direct transmission or by indirect transmission. So, direct transmission occurs when an infected host comes in direct contact with a susceptible host. For examples, skin to skin, contact or kissing, directly coughing or sneezing in front of someone can also spread diseases when droplets or airborne particles carry the infection directly to the other person. Indirect transmission is when the organism is on an intermediate carrier, such as an environmental surface that has been contaminated by an infected person. Airborne transmission is a type of indirect transmission where the organisms suspend in the air by dust or droplets. Droplets or dust can remain suspended for long periods and can blow over great distances. So some vehicles that may indirectly transmit an organism are food, water, blood, and objects such as tissues or even bedding. When the when the infectious microorganism is on these items, the organism can travel long distances. So something we need to be mindful here. Continuing to clean environmental areas as much as possible, especially in our communities. Then we have our fifth link, which is the portal of entry, and that is the opening that the infectious organism enters the host's body. This can be an open wound, mucous membranes such as the mouth or nose, or tubes inserted into the body such as a catheter. Another example is also cracked skin. And then the sixth link to the chain is the susceptible host. So that is going to be a person that is at risk for developing an infection from the disease. Not everyone who encounters a disease will become sick. There are factors that make a person more likely to become infected with the disease. Some of these factors are age. Elderly people are more susceptible. Underlying chronic diseases such as diabetes or asthma, conditions that weaken the immune system, even taking certain medications. Another example, having devices such as feeding tubes. They're just another way for that portal of entry. So since a lot of the residents at communities have one or more of these risks, it's so important that staff follow standard precautions to protect not only the residents, but them themselves. So with these links, we really need to keep in mind that the chain of infection can be broken at any one of these links. If we interrupt that chain of infection, we can prevent diseases from spreading, infections from moving from one person to another. So we can kind of see here, we have a person that is holding the chain together. That's a representative metaphor of we help spread that chain of infection where we can stop it. So stop, think, don't help with that link. No matter the germ, the chain of infection can be broken at any one of these 6 links. So we really need to think about what we are doing in our communities to help break that chain of infection. Some of those things may include um, reviewing our standard precautions, policies, and procedures, our infection control plans. Our staff washing their hands when they are supposed to? Are they wearing PPE, personal protective equipment, correctly? Do they have access to that PPE? Are they cleaning and disinfecting as they should be? And are they documenting any instances of providing standard precautions when it's a really major scenario, which like the one we are seeing right now with coronavirus? So we really need to look at those individual practices and making sure that our staff are following those to help break that chain. Thank you so much for watching this, and I hope that it provided some general information about breaking the chain of infection.